You're listening to Your SuperPowered Mind on the Superpower Up podcast, the show that investigates the innate power within your brain to create lasting change.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Your SuperPowered Mind. I'm your host, Kristin Maxwell, and in this show, we explore the process of transformation and give you tools and strategies that you can use to transform your own life. Today, we're going to be talking to Noah St. John about how to master your habits for professional and personal growth. Noah St. John is a best-selling author of 15 books, business mentor, and keynote speaker who is famous for helping people get rid of something he calls head trash so they can make more money and meet their goals. He's the author of 15 books and is the only author in history to have works published by Hay House, HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, Mind Valley, Nightingale Conant, and the Chicken Soup for the Soul publisher. He also appears frequently in news worldwide, including ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Parade, Magazine, Entrepreneur.com, and the Huffington Post, and now on Your SuperPowered Mind. And so welcome, Noah.
Thanks, Kristin. Great to be here with you.
Yes, I'm very excited to talk to you because what you work with is exactly what I want to know about, which is how do we change what's going on in our mind so that we can help change our lives. But my first question is always, what superpower did you uncover as the result of mastering your mind?
I think my superpower, Kristin, if I could boil it down, is just being the nerdiest nerd in the personal growth and business growth industry. I'm basically the nerdiest nerd because what I mean by that is what I'm really, really good at is breaking things down to their component molecular pieces and then putting them back together so that anybody can use them to reach their goals faster and easier. So, you mentioned that I've written 15 books and that I've helped people make a lot of money. So over the last 20 years, over the last 2 decades, I've helped my clients add over $2.2 billion in sales, meaning that we've helped people add 6, 7, and even 8 figures to their business. And I think a big reason for that is because I'm able to break down step by step exactly what people need to accomplish their goals faster and easier. So if I had a superpower, I think that would be it.
That is a wonderful superpower. Very, very great, because there is sometimes when you're looking to change both your external circumstances and what's going on inside your head, it is overwhelming to figure out where to start or what to do or what to stick with. So I'm very excited to be talking to you and sharing you.
Thank you.
Yes. So one of the things that you talk about is head trash. So what is head trash?
Yes. So head trash is really what I've written 15 books about head trash and, how to get rid of it. And so what I teach, whether I'm doing keynote speeches or my own live events, we have a live event called Freedom Lifestyle Experience where I teach all these secrets and strategies, or whether I'm working with my 25K coaching clients, we work very, very diligently and specifically on this subject of head trash. So what is head trash? Well, head trash, the way that I teach it, is head trash is the voice in your head that says, I can't do it because ... And then you just fill in the blank, right? So people say, hey, Noah, I hear you're the guy that helps people get unstuck. I hear you're the guy that helps people add 6 and 7 figures to their business. I hear you're the guy that people come to after they've gone to all the gurus and they're still not getting results. And then now you help them get results. But I don't think I can do it because, right? And then anything that happens after the word because is what you believe, right? It's what you will defend to the death. And what's so funny about us humans is we have an almost infinite capacity to make ourselves right. So if you say to yourself, for example, well, no, I'd like to achieve my goals faster, but I can't do it because I don't have the time. Or I can't do it because I don't have the money. I can't afford it because I'm married, because I have kids, because I'm divorced, because I didn't go to college, because I didn't go to the right college, because I don't live in the right city, because I'm a Martian. I mean, whatever it is, we humans have an almost infinite capacity to make ourselves right. So anything that happens after the word because is what you really have to watch out for, because you're going to make yourself right. So this is a real enormous issue. And what happens is people don't even realize they're doing it. And that's one of the reasons that head trash is so damaging and keeps people stuck.
Yes, I can see that. And it's one of the things that was so funny to me was when I was learning about, how you go about working on beliefs and changing them, is how we only see and pay attention to evidence that supports what we believe.
Right.
And so it's so funny when working with my clients who have self-confidence issues, they'll have something great happen to them, great results, and they will feel great for about 10 minutes. And then they forget and they go back into, oh, wait, I'm not good enough. And it's so funny because you have to say, okay, go find evidence that proves this other belief. And so I'm curious, what happens then if somebody has this belief? What about, like, I can't do it because I can't be successful because, and this is the insidious kind of thought, because I'm not the right kind of person, because I'm no good at sales, because I hate sales. What do you do with that kind of belief?
Well, one of the things that I work with my coaching clients on, Kristin, is first of all, uncovering your head trash. See, think about actual trash, like in your home, right? So imagine if you have your home and you say, you know what, I don't think I want to take out the trash this week. And you just leave the trash there, right? And it, just starts to pile up. And then you say, you know what, I don't even think I want to take it out next week. And then you get to the next week and the trash still piles up. And then, you know what, and he gets to a month, I don't feel like taking it out. 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. What's your home look like right now? It looks pretty bad. I mean, it's pretty much unlivable. Well, imagine the trash you have in your head, right? For most humans, we have lots and lots of trash in our head that says, I can't do it because. And for most of us, it's been piling up for years or decades, right? So imagine the trash that we have in there. And so one of the things that we really need to do is just identify it. That's the first step. If you were to take out trash in your actual home, physical, actual trash, well, what would you do? Well, you'd first see where it is. Okay, well, my living room needs cleaned up. I have to have, get my kitchen in shape or whatever it might be. Well, it's the same way with us in our brains and literally in our beliefs. And so, the first step of any transformation is awareness, right? For most people, they're just walking around with these beliefs, these disempowering negative beliefs, and they're not even aware of it. So very simply, one of the first things that we do is just say, well, what are you telling yourself? So for example, we had one of our clients named Brian, and he's an entrepreneur up in Boston. And he said, I can't do it because I don't have the time. That was his belief. And he was, saying, see, I'm so busy. And I said, okay, Brian, that's your belief. I said, but why don't we look at what you're actually doing each day? Long story short, we looked at what he was actually doing with his day, and we were able to free up 1 to 3 hours every single day. And he says, now what used to take me 1 to 3 hours now takes me 15 minutes a day. And what was really nice about that is, as a result of that, he was able to do $95,000 in sales in just 12 days. And that had never happened to him before. 12 days, he made $95,000. So that was a pretty great return on his investment.
That's definitely a great return. We have to go take a break. When we come back, I'm really excited to talk to you more about, how do you change your beliefs and your habits for professional and personal growth? But where can people learn more about you and your books? I know you have a new book that's come out recently.
Yes, it's called Power Habits, the New Science for Making Success Automatic. And so you can go to powerhabitsbook.com. Very easy to remember. Powerhabitsbook.com. And when you go to powerhabitsbook.com, just place your order there on Amazon or your local bookstore and put your order information there on powerhabitsbook.com. And we will send you a gift package worth over $299. It's a digital gift pack because you're listening to this program. And so just go to powerhabitsbook.com and order there, and we'll send you that gift package.
That's great. Hang on, everyone.
Hello, everyone. This is Tonya Dawn Rekla, Executive Director of Superpower Experts, and we want to thank each of you for making Superpower Up the #1 podcast network for personal development and spiritual growth. Because people like you have the courage to say that mindfulness, healthy living, disrupting reality, the pursuit of consciousness, responsible entrepreneurship, and radical parenting matter, we now amass over 1 million downloads monthly in more than 90 countries. Our numbers keep growing because there are far more people willing to live divergently than mass media wants to acknowledge. For you, the change makers, the light bearers, the way showers, we say thank you. If you're ready to take the next step in your evolution, go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the Superpower quiz. And as Neva Lee Rekla, our youngest podcaster, likes to remind us, remember, we all have superpowers and we can change the world.
Welcome back. Okay, so, we are talking about the impact beliefs have on our external world because it's so obvious to us because we think about these things all the time. But can you just really roughly explain what the relationship is between, our inner game, what you call the inner game, the beliefs and values and all that, and our outer game, like our habits and strategies, stuff like that?
Yes, absolutely. So, whether I'm working with my coaching clients or at my live events or in my keynote speeches, this is something we go into in great depth. We call it inner game and outer game. So think about any human endeavor, anything you want to do with your life, whether you want to grow your business, start your business, increase your income, get a better job, lose weight, find love, whatever it is that you want to do really in life, whatever goal you have, there are always two components, the inner component and the outer component. Now we just call it at my company at successclinic.com, we just call it inner game and outer game. So inner game is everything that happens between your ears that you can't see directly, but that affects everything that you do. For example, when I'm doing my keynote speeches or my live events, I like to say to my audiences, okay, what is one area of your life where your beliefs don't affect you? And of course, people sort of think for a minute, they go, and I go, exactly. There's no place your beliefs don't affect you, right? I mean, your beliefs affect your health, right? I mean, they definitely affect your health, your well-being. Your beliefs certainly affect your relationships, right? Whether your personal relationships, your business relationships, your marriage, your family life, your social life. Your beliefs affect your money, your finances, your investments, and everything else that you do. So literally, there's no place where your beliefs don't affect you. However, you can't see a belief directly. You can only see the effects of it, right? You can't see a thought, you can't see a belief, but you can see the effects of it everywhere. Now, also keep in mind that you can be doing really well in one area of your life, but maybe in another area you're struggling or stuck. For example, maybe your health is doing really well, but your relationships are suffering, or your business is doing great, but your health is suffering, and so on, right? So it's not cookie cutter, one size fits all. We really have to look at each area of your life and your business to really see where your beliefs are affecting you. So that's your inner game. But then we also have your outer game. Now, your outer game is everything you can see directly. That's your habits, lifestyle, your systems, strategies. So as an entrepreneur, for example, that would be your lead magnets, your sales funnels, your marketing pages, all of the customer-facing, market-facing things that you have to do. So what the problem is, or a big problem, and also one of the reasons that I've helped people make over $2.2 billion over the last 2 decades, is because what we do is we help people master their inner game and their outer game. Because the problem for many people, Kristin, is that they're focused a lot on their inner game, but their outer game is suffering. Conversely, we have people who are doing the opposite. They're focusing a lot on their outer game, but their inner game is suffering. For example, we have people that come up to me at my seminars and they say, Noah, I watched The Secret 37 times and I'm still not a millionaire. I go, that's interesting, because in The Secret, the movie, and there's a lot of teachers that say this. There's a lot of people, so-called gurus out there that say, well, just think about money and money falls down from the sky. I'm like, I'm not sure what planet that works on, but it's not the planet Earth, right? On the planet Earth, we have to do this annoying thing called work.
Right.
to get the results we want. It's exactly like saying, well, you know what? I want to lose weight and get in shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think positive. Meanwhile, I'm going to sit on the couch and eat junk food and never exercise, and I'm sure I'm going to lose weight. Well, it's obvious when you say it like that, that's ridiculous, right? That could never work. But that's what a lot of people are teaching when it comes to money. And why is that? Well, because it's sexy and because it's easy and because, of course, no one wants to work, right? Who wants to work, right? Nobody wants to work. Everybody just wants to. I mean, it's a great sounding message. Think about money and money just comes in. Yeah, that would be nice. But unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way.
Right. Yes, it's when you start identifying your beliefs, it becomes amazingly obvious the impact they have. But it's hard to even start to think about that, because if you're somebody, who, we'll talk about health, who thinks it's too hard to go work out, or it's too hard not to eat the food you want, or I'm not the kind of person who exercises and all that, then you won't actually go do it.
That's right.
But if you are the kind of person that says, I'm somebody who takes care of my health, I eat healthy foods, I make sure I exercise every day, then you go and you do it. And you never even realize the kind of thoughts that are going on your head that are stirring that. So thank you. It's both sides. Yeah. You still have to not eat the cookie.
Well, when we talk about health, one of the things we're talking, but again, I'm using health as an example. Remember, I'm talking about any goal that you have in life.
Me too. Yeah.
Have more free time, to have more money, to, get a promotion at work or whatever it might be, or grow your business, start your business, write a book, create your online sales funnels, have an online presence, or whatever your goals might be. We really have to look at both of those areas, inner game and outer game. What's so funny is that inner game, what I've noticed over the last 20 years of helping people make, billions of dollars, literally helping people add 6 and 7 and 8 figures to their business, is inner game is about 80% of it. Inner game really is 80% of success. Your beliefs, because as you just said, if you believe you can't do it, well, you're going to make yourself right. There's an old saying that is attributed to Henry Ford, and Henry Ford is purported to have said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. But what I like to say, with all due respect to Mr. Ford, what I like to say is, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you make yourself right. See, because you're going to actually make yourself right, like I was talking about earlier with the subject of head trash. If you believe I can't do it because I don't have the time, because I'm not smart enough, because I'm not good enough, because whatever, you're going to make yourself right. And so whether it comes to your health, whether it comes to your business, whether it comes to your finances or relationships, you're going to find a way to not do it and then say, see, I told you I couldn't do it. And so one of the things I always say to my audiences and my coaching clients is, this is one area where you don't want to be right.
Right. Right. You want to look at that belief and say, ooh, do I really want to believe I can't
exactly
do this? Well, so one of the things that you talk about being unconsciously competent at success, what does that mean?
Well, this is really the essence of my discovery, and one of the reasons that I've helped people make so much money and lose weight and find love and overcome addiction and all the amazing results that we have with my clients is this whole concept of being unconsciously competent at allowing yourself to succeed. So what I realized is that, because I've been studying personal growth since I was literally a kid. I grew up poor in a rich neighborhood. And I know that's a total cliche, but it's true. I grew up in a little town called Kennebunkport, Maine, which happens to be one of the wealthiest communities in New England. But my family was dirt poor. I mean that literally, because we lived at the bottom of a dirt road in a drafty, unfinished house that my parents ended up losing to foreclosure. So from a very young age, I was painfully exposed to the gap, the chasm between the haves and the have-nots. The haves was everyone else in the community. The have-nots was my family. And I hated that life of poverty and fear and not enoughness. And so, which is what I knew growing up in my family, but right down the street, I saw there was great wealth and abundance. So I really, really wanted to enjoy the wealth and abundance of life because I saw that it was there, but I didn't know how to get there. And so I started reading books on self-help. I just went to the library and started reading the classics of self-help, Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, Stephen Covey and Wayne Dyer and, you know, all the rest. And I really, really tried to make him work, but I just couldn't seem to do it. And then at the age of 25, I decided to commit suicide because I was so depressed and frustrated. Now, my life was spared at the very last minute. I do share that story in the Power Habits book. I share the full story, but long story short, what happened was I realized that my life had been spared for some reason. I didn't know why, but it was my job to find out why I was here on the earth and to, you know, devote the rest of my life to serving God and serving humanity while I was still here on the earth. But I didn't know why I was here, so I went on another spiritual journey, this, you know, more of an inner journey. And then in 1997, I realized exactly what was missing in all this traditional success literature from all the traditional success programs that I had studied over the years. And it was this concept of being unconsciously competent at allowing yourself to succeed. So whenever we humans want to master a habit, we go through 4 stages of competency. The first stage is unconscious competence. That means, unconscious incompetence. That means you don't know you don't know. The second stage is conscious incompetence. That means you don't know. The third stage is conscious competence, which is you know. And the final stage is unconscious competence, which is you do without thinking. So the analogy I always give at my seminars and my keynote speeches is driving a car, right? Most people listening to this program can drive a car, but at one time, you actually went through all 4 stages of competence when it comes to driving a car. The first stage was you didn't know how to drive a car. That means no one comes out of the womb and says, hey, where's my car? Right? It's, you know, that's impossible. So you don't know how to drive a car. The second stage is you got to about 8, 10, or 12 years old and you say, man, I really want to get away from my parents. They're so annoying. I really want to get a car. How do you drive a car? I don't know how to drive a car. Oh, rats. Right? And so now I'm consciously incompetent. Now I know I don't know how to drive a car. Then you get to, you know, a certain age and you take driver's ed, you get a license that says I'm consciously competent to drive a car. That's not what it says, but that's what it means, right? So now I can drive a car. And now, of course, today, for most people listening to this program, you do it without thinking. You drive and you're doing 27 other things without actually thinking about it. So think about all the things you do every day. We do as humans, right? That we don't think about, right? You know, tying your shoes, brushing your teeth, getting dressed, you know, bathing, reading, writing, speaking. You know, there's literally dozens of things we do every single day that at one time we didn't even know we didn't know how to do it. So the point is, it's really exactly the same. One of the big epiphanies that I had, and one of the reasons that I've helped people get such amazing results, is the point is that the traditional success programs were all taught by people who had become unconsciously competent at allowing themselves to succeed. And what I mean by that is that for 97% of the people out there, they are holding themselves back from success based on what we've been talking about today in this interview, which is, you know, this concept that I teach called head trash, right? I can't do it because. But for about 2% of the people, they don't have that. And that's what I call the naturals of success. They're like, well, of course I can do it. And I know that because I've interviewed over 200 highly successful people and a lot of, you know, millionaires, multimillionaires, highly successful people. And what I'll do is I'll ask them, have you ever noticed that you do this and this? Have you ever noticed you do such and so? And they'll think for a second and they'll go, yeah, you know what? No, you're right. I never thought of that, but I do that. And what does that show you? It shows you they do it without thinking. So if somebody is doing something without thinking, how can they possibly teach you how to do it? The answer is they can't. And so that's why what people say about my work, Kristin, is that my work starts where Napoleon Hill's work left off. Napoleon Hill, of course, we know from Think and Grow Rich, and he interviewed all these successful people. And he said, well, what do you do to be successful? Well, you do this, and this. Okay, so do this, and you're successful. Well, how come millions of people read that book and aren't successful? It's because of all the stuff they left out. So what people say about my work with Power Habits is that it is the bridge between the naturals of success and the rest of us. So to literally level the playing field so all of us can enjoy greater success, happiness, and fulfillment in our lives.
Right. So you're basically teaching people how to identify what it is that they don't know that they need to do, and then how to start doing that to the point where it's just natural.
Well, think about this. If you want to reach your goals, right, it's like driving a car, right? So you're going from where you are to where you want to be. So just like you want to drive a car, right? Whether you're going down the street, you know, the grocery store to get milk and eggs, or you're driving across country. right? You're still going from where you are to where you want to be. So in your car, you have two forces. You have the driving force, which is called the gas pedal, and you have the restraining force, which is called the brake pedal, right?
Right.
So if you're driving down the road of life and you have one foot on the gas and the other foot's on the brake, how hard is it going to be to reach your goals? It's going to take you a long time, right?
Right.
And meanwhile, you're using a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of money, because you're like, how come I'm doing all this work and I'm not getting anywhere?
Yeah.
So you go to all these gurus and they say, well, just step on the gas harder, think positive, set your goals, get motivated, use willpower. And they're like, okay, I'm stepping on the gas. But unbeknownst to you, you're unconsciously, remember, you don't know you're doing this. You have your other foot on the brake. So what my work does, what Power Habits, my Power Habit system does, is that I literally come in and I say, did you know you have your foot on the brake? And you're like, no. And I said, did you know why you have your foot on the brake? No. Well, you realize if we just get your foot off the brake, then number one, you don't even have to step on the gas harder. You're gonna reach your goals faster anyway. And number two, it's gonna be a lot less time, money, and effort to reach your goals. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And that's why we get these amazing results, which you can see on our website. We call it our client wall of fame, which are, I mean, literally just amazing results. Like people double, triple their income in less than a year. People have found love, lost weight, overcome addiction. And it's really because of what I'm talking about, which is to get your foot off the brake rather than having to step on the gas harder.
Right. And I see this all the time with many, many people, that I work with and just out in the world, where they're taking all the right actions, but their energy inside is still, I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so the results they get aren't what they want often.
That's right.
And it's so frustrating because there's this not understanding why. But really, when you look at what they're believing and telling themselves, it's, I can't do this. I'm no good at this. This isn't right. So this is super key. So let's say, just because I always like to give my listeners something that they can look at or ask themselves or change, what's one thing that they could do if they wanted to start taking their foot off the brake for whatever area it is that they're not getting the results they want?
Right. One of the things you can do right now is to identify your goal. And I know you've heard that before. I mean, everybody's heard that, right? Well, what do you want? Okay. And so, but nevertheless, it's still very important. Many people really don't know where they're going, in terms of, they're basically getting in their car and driving around in circles and going, I wonder why I'm not getting anywhere. Right. So identify what you want in your business, in your health, in your relationships, and in your lifestyle. Those are the 4 different areas that we look at. Number 1. Number 2, look at your beliefs about what you tell yourself about your ability to reach your goals. So as I stated earlier, some of you are saying, well, yeah, I can, lose 10 pounds. That's easy, but I could never add $10,000 a month to my business. Conversely, some of you are saying, oh, it's easy to add $10,000 a month, but man, I could never lose that 10 pounds. You see what I mean? Yes. So there are definitely different head trashes for different area of your life. And then the third step would literally be, just get some help in that area, whether it's to read my Power Habits book or, hire a coach or whatever it might be. But there's help out there. We've helped our clients in all those areas, in lifestyle and business and health and relationships. I mean, those are the 4 main areas of life. But whoever it is, the point is, I want your listeners to realize, everybody listening to this program, there is help available, but I would just say, realize that if you're driving down the road of life with one foot on the brake, you can step on the gas as hard as you want, right? It's really, you're still going to have a hard time reaching your goal. So really, we have to look at why your foot's on the brake in the first place. And then using my Powered Habit system, systematically get your foot off the brake so you can reach your goals faster, easier, and with a lot less effort.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very true. With your beliefs are going to trump what happens to your life, no matter what.
Right.
Yes, it's very, very interesting. And I guess one of the other questions I have are there habits? Well, the book is called Power Habits. Like, what's an example of a power habit that successful people do unconsciously?
Well, one of the power habits that's really key to realize is what I call systems of support. See, when I was suicidal, back in my 20s, when I decided to commit suicide, One of the things that I didn't have was any support at all, any what I now call systems of support. So just like your car, right, going back to the car analogy, your car is basically just a series of interrelated systems. And if one of them's broken, you ain't getting to your goal, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. And so it doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how positive you think. If a system is broken in your car, you're not going to reach your goal, right? So what we look at with the systems of support with an individual or with a business, we look at the people, activities, environment, introspection, and simplify. Those are the 5 systems of support. And so it's really, really important what highly successful people do, the naturals, they have those systems in place. So one of the things you can look at is to say, all right, let's, first identify the systems that are in, my life and in my business. And secondly, what system is broken right now? And again, in your car, maybe you have a flat tire, maybe the ignition needs help, maybe it's the steering wheel. I mean, whatever it might be. And so there's a very, one of the things that people say about my work, my coaching clients and at my live events and in my seminars is, and keynote speeches, is that, they really love how systematic it is. Because one of the things that I noticed that, when I was studying all those traditional success programs, it was a lot of sort of amorphous ideas that really didn't help me. So I love checklists. I love giving my clients checklists so you can literally go through every day. And that's why, like I talked about Brian earlier, what used to take 1 to 3 hours, now it takes 15 minutes. We had another client, Sheila, we helped her go from $5,000 a month in sales to $75,000 a month in sales in literally less than 9 months. And that was really just using these checklists that we give you in the book.
Wow. Yeah, it's my experience is that, yes, you need a system for looking at and uncovering the habits and your beliefs and changing them, because otherwise it's too easy to get lost in your own stories too of exactly. Why it's not going to work.
That's right. You got it.
Why I can never change this belief. This is who I am. I mean, it's pretty funny with the things that people do to themselves in their head. I mean, not funny, but funny, odd.
Funny, sad.
It's been great talking to you. I love that you have broken this stuff down, because that is what it takes to make change, is to very systematically look at different areas and say, what do I want to do differently? So thank you.
Absolutely.
Can you remind people again where they can learn about you and your most recent book and all of that?
Absolutely. So if you want to go to our main website, it's noahstjohn.com. That's my name, NOAHSTJOHN.com, just like it sounds, noahstjohn.com. And you can look at our different programs, our live events, online programs, and so forth, and our coaching. Also, if you want to get my new book, Power Habits, The New Science for Making Success Automatic, just go to powerhabitsbook.com. Very easy to remember, powerhabitsbook.com. Order on Amazon or your favorite local bookstore. Go back to powerhabitsbook.com, put in your order info, and because you're listening to this program right now, we'll send you a digital gift pack worth $299, including a special video presentation that I never released to the public before. So powerhabitsbook.com and noahstjohn.com.
That's great. Thank you for sharing all of this, because we can all be happier and more successful no matter what we're doing. There's some area where we could use some help. Absolutely. So listeners, I do appreciate you being here, for caring enough about yourself and your world that you want to show up. And until next time, go out and remember that you do hold the power to change and transform your world.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the superpower quiz today.